Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be going over the 2024 Volvo XC90. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Ken Garf Volvo here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this XC90. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions, just ask for Mark. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So under the hood of this particular XC90 is the B6 powertrain, which is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission and a mild hybrid system. Fuel economy is 23 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 295 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, taking a look at the hood, you guys can see it's flat there in the center, and then it kind of falls off on either side. We got the Thor's Hammer LED daytime running lights, which looks so sweet. And then you guys can see parking sensors down below. And then, of course, you got Volvo's signature grille with the Volvo logo front and center. There's actually a camera at the bottom of that logo as well. And when you put it all together, I've always been a fan of the front end of the XC90, but let me know what you think. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 275/40/21 in the front and over in the rear. And then you guys can see with the wheel design, you got the silver there on the top and then is black behind that. And you know, it's kind of like a classic luxury car wheel design at this point. Really nice body painted fender flares, and then the trim all along the bottom is also body painted. You also have some silver trim right there, and then also around the windows as well. Not the best side view because I'm in between two cars, but there is the side profile on the XC90. So here's a quick look at our key fob. We have our Volvo logo there on the front. We've got lock and unlock, and then the opening for the hatch. Now, the Volvo is a 3-row SUV, but we still have a decent amount of storage space behind the third row, pretty typical for this size of SUV. You can throw down the third row with these little latches right here for a little bit more storage space. And you guys can see the 12-volt there off to the side. But when you're all done with this area, just press this button and that will lower things down. You also have the cool, like, foot-activated lowering function too. Volvo's signature taillights that look like a bow, they're really cool. You guys can see B6 all-wheel drive, and then you've got all the rest of the badges. Little indication there to show you that you can kick your foot underneath. Anyways, parking sensors at the bottom as well. And wrapping things up, let me know what you guys think about the overall style here on this new XC90. Now, popping inside, it's soft touch here at the top, and then look at the wood trim down below, and I love the look of the handle as well. And the finish on the buttons is really cool too. But then look at the trim down below, also really nice finish. And this continues onto the seats. You have that nice cowhide texture, which I've always been a big fan of. And once we're back here, you guys can see legroom's really good. We also have a little storage net. We've got our own climate zone here in the rear, heated seats for the second row passengers, ventilation throughout. If you guys are wondering, there's also more here as well. And then the passengers in the back, I mean, I'll show you that a little bit later. But anyways, before we go to the back, headroom's good. Now, like most crossovers in this segment, a little bit tighter here in the back. Like I was showing you guys earlier, do have some vent action here in the back. Got some cup holder action. But I will say, headroom, actually, I'm kind of touching the top. But the seats back here, they're really nice. More soft touch here at the top, and then look at the wood trim down below. Got memory seats. There's a quick look at the mirrors. Cool door handle down below, and then all of the nice padding. We got all of our window controls here, mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in. And then here is the front seat. Again, got the nice cowhide texture. Power adjustments here on the side, and then you got this button right here to open up the trunk, and then again, more of that nice trim, and then soft touch on the dash. Taking a look at the steering wheel, it's got this cool two-tone appearance. I love the split look overall. Practical controls here on the front. You got cruise control as well. It is adaptive. And then a regular stocks there on the back. Now here's the gauge cluster, full digital gauge cluster. And if I press the little pages button, notice it'll get rid of the little map there in the center. But overall, I love the design. I love how simplistic it is. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and you guys probably saw the 360 icon. That's because this does have a 360 camera. And I like how the camera shows on the side of the vehicle that it's on. I think that's actually a really cool feature overall. And then moving on from that to the rest of the infotainment system, you've got the main section of the screen right here. Notice we've got stuff like Apple CarPlay. This does have a lot of Google stuff integrated from the factory, but you can still use your iPhone if you want. And then notice the climate control is really easy to access. Also, same thing with the heated seats and the heated steering wheel. If we go over to the quote-unquote settings tab, you can pop into driving. This is where you actually change the drive modes, well, drive mode rather. You've got off-road mode, and then you have normal mode. Pretty simple. Kind of showed this earlier, but you got nice padding all over the dash and then the wood trim here. And you can see some analog controls down below. And then this is actually how you open up the glove box, which is pretty spacious, and it's padded on the outside. And then down below, you guys can see here with the storage. I think that is really cool how that kind of connects. We also have our shifter here, which you can like stick your fingers through. It's kind of cool, just like the airiness that it has, I guess is a good way to put it. I'm trying to use fancier words, guys. Anyways, got your stop start button here, parking brake, auto hold, and then the center console, USB action. Nice padding here, and then it also continues along the side. And then we got the one touch here for the full panoramic sunroof and letter colored headliner to match the interior. So here's a quick look at our window sticker for this XC90. You guys can see all the standard equipment here. Base MSRP, we have a few options added to this particular one. Total MSRP, $67,530. And elevator music. Let's see how it drives. Let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood, both of the mirrors, and throughout the rest of the rear. And Volvo way. Also, the Volvo dealership just put this new like driveway in here, and I just gotta say, that is the best thing since sliced bread. If any of you are watching this and you work at the Volvo dealership in Salt Lake, you will understand how cool that driveway is. Like, it's just it's a complete life changer. So I appreciate them spending the money to put in that driveway, because yeah, that has made my life, and I'm sure a lot of people that work at the stores' lives a lot easier. But anyways, setting off here in the new XC90. First off, seat comfort's really good. I love these leather seats. I love the bolstering on them as well. I've always thought that Volvo seats are some of the most comfortable in the car industry. They do a really good job with the overall ergonomics. And on top of that, the suspension is really comfortable too. Now this is more of a, it's not like a baseline XC90. Of course, it's got some options, but it's not like the crazy fully loaded one with air suspension and all that kind of stuff. It's more of, again, it's not really an entry-level package, but midline package, I guess, is a good way to put it. But it still rides really well. So I think that's a big plus. And the thing that fascinates me about Volvo seats is these are obviously not cooled with this particular car, right? That's why the leather's not perforated. But like, it's, I mean, it's on the car lot back there, it's like 107 degrees. Out here where it's a little bit more open, just under 100 degrees, and I don't feel like super hot and uncomfortable with the seats. And I think the lighter interior definitely helps out with that, because these don't feel too these don't feel hot to the touch whatsoever. But I just, yeah, I think that Volvo does a good job with that too. Tons of torque. Like, for a 4-cylinder, this thing really, like, it rockets pretty strongly. It's actually quite impressive, that is for sure. And then on top of that, see kind of how I know this isn't the best corner ever, but just to kind of feel the vehicle, I mean, it is a bigger sized SUV. It's a 3-row crossover at the end of the day, but it for what it is, it actually handles quite well. So I think that that's good. Definitely not going towards the sporty side. You can tell that Volvo is emphasizing luxury with this. But let's get a little acceleration here. Yeah, it's got good torque. I wouldn't call this fast by any means. If you want fast, that's what the hybrid, the full-on hybrid, the recharge models are for. But with this version of the power, or the XC90, this powertrain, it's actually still shockingly good. Like, it's really, really good. So to sum things up here at the XC90, I think this is a great 3-row luxury crossover. And you know, 67,000 bucks, I know a lot of people are gonna be like, that's a lot of money, but for getting a luxury brand like Volvo, with the build quality that you're getting in this, and the drive and the looks and everything, it's actually pretty reasonable, because a lot of 3-row crossovers, they're from non-luxury brands, are now this expensive. I mean, look at the Jeep Grand Cherokee, for example. You can easily option on a Grand Cherokee to way over 67,000. And Ford's coming out with the new Explorer. I guarantee the Platinum and, the higher up packages on that Explorer will also, be in this price range. So yeah, I think for what you're getting with the build quality and everything, and compared to the other luxury brands like BMW and Audi, Mercedes, I mean, those are way more expensive at this point. The XC90 is, it's a very good value overall. But let me know what you think.